Istanbul at dawn, where continents meet and civilizations overlap. The city that had housed countless secrets for millennia now held one more, the origin point of a crisis threatening the global financial order. The circle was closing, the architects returning to the source. Financial systems across Asia were still in freefall. Europe's markets had opened to chaos. From the eye of the hurricane, Ibrahim Nazari watched his creation dismantling the architecture of global finance, not to destroy it, but to force a reckoning, to bring his former protege back where everything began. The city had changed since they'd last seen it, new developments rising alongside millennium-old structures, but the undercurrents remained the same. Istanbul had always been a crossroads for power, wealth, and information, where empires rose and fell, where modern digital threats now flowed through ancient stone foundations. The official record stated that Ibrahim Nazari died defending the code in that building 3 months ago. The truth was more complex. A choreographed disappearance, a man erasing himself to pursue a vision his own creation had come to oppose. The ultimate betrayal, at least in his mind. What began as precision attacks against specific institutions had evolved into systemic collapse. Trust, the invisible foundation of modern finance, was evaporating. In 24 hours, decades of financial integration had begun to unravel. Ibrahim's demonstration was becoming a global object lesson in vulnerability. Intelligence services exist in the spaces between official narratives. The Turkish response to the crisis required acknowledging a truth no financial authority could admit publicly, that the entire system had been built on vulnerable foundations. That trust was as important as encryption, and both were failing simultaneously. The attack signature was becoming clearer as more systems fell. Not random, not merely destructive. It was a message encoded in the pattern of institutions targeted, those taken down versus those left untouched. Ibrahim had turned the financial system into a canvas for his manifesto. What if the financial collapse wasn't the end goal, but the means? What if Ibrahim was using the crisis to expose something hidden within the system itself? The institutions falling fastest were those with connections to covert operations, dark money, intelligence funding, the very mechanisms Jensen and Viper had once helped conceal. The Grand Bazaar, 16 centuries of commerce, conspiracy, and calculated exchanges. Where silk and spices once defined wealth, now digital currencies flowed invisibly between devices. Yet the human elements remained unchanged. Observation, assessment, the silent calculus of trust and betrayal. Istanbul preserved relationships in amber. The old bookseller had been Ibrahim's first contact in the city decades ago, back when digital networks were more concept than reality. Some assets remained off the grid by choice, valuable precisely because they existed only in human memory, not digital databases. The oldest tradecraft remained the most secure. Physical media, human couriers, knowledge fragmented, so that only those with the proper context could reassemble meaning. Ibrahim had embedded his invitation in the financial attack, but the true coordinates could only be found here, on paper, in ink, immune to digital interception. Beneath the city's foundations lay the cistern, Emperor Justinian's underground cathedral of water, a place where time moved differently, where ancient stone absorbed centuries of secrets, the perfect meeting ground for a confrontation rooted in both past and future. Security systems, like people, retain muscle memory. The passcodes from their shared past still functioned, a breadcrumb trail left deliberately. Ibrahim wasn't hiding from his former protégés. He was guiding them through a pilgrimage of shared history, reminding them of what they had once believed in together. The digital breadcrumbs led here, to the heart of ancient Istanbul. The infrastructure was Ibrahim's, his technical signature unmistakable. But the space felt like a stage set after the performance. The main actor already departed. Another layer in his elaborate choreography. The command center revealed Ibrahim's evolution. No longer the pragmatic intelligence operative they had known, but something more ideological. The technology was familiar, systems they had helped design, but the intent had transformed. This wasn't merely a financial attack. It was a controlled demolition of a system he now viewed as fundamentally corrupt. The elegance of the code remained breathtaking. Efficiency married to vision. Ibrahim had always been several moves ahead, but what Viper now saw in his creation was something beyond tactical advantage. This was his life's work, evolved into something near religious in its conviction. A digital cleansing fire meant to burn away corruption. The journals revealed Ibrahim's transformation. What began as disillusionment had crystallized into purpose. His supposed death in Istanbul wasn't an escape, but a rebirth. The man who had trained them to work within the system had become convinced it needed to be dismantled and rebuilt. The financial attack was merely the first phase.